Want to be recorded. I'll go ahead and record it and welcome everybody to Empowered Life's The Business of Coaching. I'm Adam Bricker. Today's week 3. We're going to be talking about confidence and certainty, and it all starts with what? Perception. So just real quick, I want to touch base with everybody. I want to feel your heartbeats today and find out what it is that you think perception is. Betty, you want to start?
Good morning, guys. Thank you, Adam. So perception, let's see what perception for me, it's how you view things. So there's something, a good example of this would be for me recently, something happened. When I created my business, I had a phone number with a different area code. And every time I would give my card out, people would say, "Oh, so you live in Gatineau," which is maybe it's in the Quebec side of where I live. So in a different province, but we're only like 10 minutes away. And I was like, "Oh, no. It's just like, that's the number they gave me when I went to the phone." And everyone would say like, "Oh, okay, so if I want to get something for you, okay, I just go to Gatineau." I was like, "Oh crap, that's becoming something interesting." So it's people's perception of where I am physically. And when I opened up my business account, I'm
going to go ahead and stop you right there.
Yeah.
Because I just want this to be quick.
Okay. Well, I had to change my number, and then everything and stuff made actual sense, and people were more drawn to it in the area where I am because of their perception of where I was physically.
So my perception was that would have taken 20 seconds. Okay. And so the perception and what you said, I just want to boil it down. You said the perception is how we view things. Anybody on this call have a different perception? A perception, a different definition. Raise your hand if you agree perception is how we view things. You got something different, Bobby Joe?
I was going to say view, interpret, judge.
Yeah, that's all perception. So we're going to dig down to confidence and certainty today, but it all has to do with perception. Okay. Now, perception is not just how we view the world. Okay. But it's what we view the world as. Who are we in viewing the world? Who are we being? Okay. If I don't know who went out Halloween trick-or-treating last night. Okay. But who are you when you're out there? Are you the guardian? Are you the person who's having fun? Are you really happy the kids are having a great time? Do you want your kids to be polite? We had a fire truck come onto the street. We had about 30 kids in this one neighborhood going in these little groups, and all of a sudden, the fire truck comes on. What's your perception? We got to make the street clear. We got to get kids out of the way. Maybe somebody's hurt. You know what happened? 4 guys dressed as firemen got out and started giving candy to the kids. It was a really remarkable experience, but who are you being in that moment when that shows up? Got it? So that's what perception is. Do you think if you go to an equestrian event and you see Claudia's students out there doing a show, and I don't know, is it a competition as well?
Yes, it is.
If you go there and you watch that as you are now, what do you see? Do you understand what they're doing? Do you see the technical aspects? If you go there as a coach of equestrian, you're going to perceive it a different way. Okay. If a horse does a particular move, that's fantastic. As a spectator who doesn't know what it is, you may not see it. Okay. And so it's who you are that dictates your perspective. Okay. Does that make sense? my favorite moment, one of my favorite moments in life, it was one of my awakenings, was when I went to see a movie with some friends. 4 of us at a movie. If you've ever been coached with me before then, you've heard the story. It was a life changer for me. We watched the movie, then we went out, we had a couple cocktails to enjoy each other's time, and we started talking about the movie. 4 different perspectives. Same movie, same theater, same time, same place. 4 different perspectives. Why? Why would somebody like a movie and somebody doesn't? Why would somebody be offended by a movie and somebody doesn't? That's perspective. That's perception.
Right?
Say it one more time.
Because of their experiences and their belief.
Experiences, beliefs, those are all parts of your perception.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that some people aren't on camera right now. I'm going to ask an interactive question. It's a real simple question. Who would be happy if I ran at you physically, full speed, and knocked you down? Who would be happy with that?
I would not be happy.
I'd be like, Adam, we're taking this outside. What's up? Why are you going full speed?
Perception.
Yeah.
Perception. Now, I want you guys listen. Who would be happy if I ran at you at full speed and knocked you down so that the car that was coming right after you missed you instead of hit you?
Exactly.
So that's context. Okay, that's context. And you can't get certainty and confidence without perception and context. Does that make sense? I really want you guys to understand how that one little extra factor makes a huge difference. Okay, so what is it in this world that really makes you upset just because you're missing one little factor? Because if I ran at you at full speed and knocked you to the ground and it wasn't saving your life from being hit by the car, you would be mad. Add in that little aspect of the car, you could be immensely grateful your entire life. So sometimes we're missing that one little aspect in life that could steal our joy, or that could make us happy and appreciative beyond belief. Does that make sense? And a lot of times that shows up in ways that you're not prepared for. That shows up in ways that you're not expecting. And what happens in our lives when things show up that aren't the way we want them to or expect them to be? Does that make us feel comfortable or uncomfortable? Yeah. I want to let you know that when your life changes for the better, sometimes it's really uncomfortable. Okay. When you get what you've been working for and you're used to not having it, and then all of a sudden it's there and you have it, it could be hard to receive. It could be hard to receive. I'm going to use the diet. 7 years ago today was like one of the darkest moments of my life. Really, I found myself in so much pain that I was just unhappy of who I was and who I was in my body. And I said I would not take it anymore. And after 12 years of having a particular goal to be under 200 pounds and not being able to achieve it, I lost almost 50 pounds in less than 2 months. From November 1st, that's today. By the way, ladies, that's today I started growing my beard, so that opportunity is there for you today. Should you want to start growing your beard, sorry. So from November 1st until December 24th, I lost about 50 pounds, changed my whole life. Okay. From that darkness. Okay. I want to let you know it cost me a lot of friends too. Because when you change, it makes your friends uncomfortable about who you are. who, I had my beer drinking buddies. They wouldn't drink beer with me anymore. What was their perception? I didn't like them. I was too good for them, whatever perception they had. Okay. So I really wanted you to have this base of perception and context so that we could talk about certainty and confidence. Okay. Let's talk about certainty. Okay. What does that mean to anybody? We'll take short, little interactive answers. Certainty.
Security.
Yeah. Yeah. Security is a huge part of certainty. Absolutely. Anybody else? All right. Certainty is like knowing what's going to happen. Okay. You go into a room, you flip the light switch, you're expecting something to happen, especially if you've been in that room and flipped that light switch 100 times before. Okay. If you go into the room and every time you flip the light switch, the light comes on, and you do that hundreds of times, and then one day you flip the switch and the light comes on, but music comes on as well. That's unexpected. Okay. So sometimes in life are these unexpected moments really affect how we feel. Okay. So it takes us out of certainty. What is the one skill that you need to be able to survive and thrive in this world, in this economy, in this business, especially as coaches? What is the one skill that you need to be able to excel when there's not certainty?
Self-confidence, trust in yourself.
Confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't happen the way I wanted it to, but I know I've got this. Confidence is being able to move forward, stay on target, do what you do, even though the way you want things to happen aren't rolling out the way you want them to. Does that make sense? Got it. Okay. So let's do a quick recap. I just saw Kelly was coming in. I want to wait for her to do the recap if she does pop up in here. So we have perception. What is what we think is the opposite of perception? You know what? Bad question. What is truth? What is truth? Hey, Kelly, welcome aboard. Kelly, you're in Empowered Life, Class 3 of the Business of Coaching. Today's lesson's about confidence and certainty. We started the class off today talking about perception. By the way, you look great in that shirt. Got it. We got a lot of cross action happening. We got Cynthia and Kelly here. Hi, Cynthia. All right, well, we're going to do this again. Ready? Beginning of the class recap. Take 2. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Cynthia. Welcome to the Business of Coaching on the Empowered Life platform. The class is about confidence and certainty. We started with talking about perception. We had calls out at the beginning that perception is how we view things. And I added in as an important part of the lesson, it's perception is who we are when we view things, who we view things as. Kelly knows really well in her business that if we're talking about bullying actions that happened at a school, if you're the bullying actions parent, you're going to view it one way. If you're the parent who received the action, you're going to view it another way. You're going to have a different perception. If you're the administrator, you're going to have a different perception. Okay. And if you're a teacher that was personally involved, you may have a different perception. All of the same item. Okay. So perception, wonderful scenario. Thank you, Kelly. Then we started talking about certainty. Certainty is knowing what's going to happen. Okay. And then if you create a life of incredible certainty, what does that give you? Open mic, anybody? What is a life of incredible certainty?
Freedom.
Boring.
I heard freedom. What else?
I said boring.
Boring. Boring. A life of incredible certainty does give you the comfort zone. Now,
Just certainty, but it doesn't give you any growth, because with certainty, you make decisions out of fear and it does not allow you to grow.
got it. Absolutely spot on. Does a life of certainty give you freedom? Absolutely. If you know everything's going to have be in a particular way, then you have freedom to add to it. Okay. But what are you going to add? Are you going to add more certainty? You know, it's really cool that you know you're going to wake up in a certain house, in a certain area, with certain things that you can do. Okay. But what's the opposite of certainty? It's a scale. On one end, the opposite of certainty is uncertainty. You have no idea what's going to happen. You're unprepared. The other end is variety. So you're going different places. You're not eating at the same restaurant every day. You're not eating the same food every day. So you got this certainty that you're going to have breakfast every day, but you have a variety of what you have. Both of those make a good life. If you're not certain you're going to have your next meal, that makes a life more challenging. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. So who wants a ton of certainty in their life? Everybody. Who wants a ton of variety in their life? Everybody. If you ate more than three pieces of Halloween candy last night, were they all the same, or did you have a variety of them? Yeah, that's just, you think about that because that's your perspective. Okay, so perspective, perception, certainty, variety, that all builds up to confidence. What does confidence mean? And who has confidence? Do you know how to measure your confidence?
There was a session, and I honestly don't even remember what session it was or who I was with, but it was said that when you can pick up the phone and call someone knowing that they're going to want to talk to you, like you're a superstar.
Yeah.
For me, lately, I've been focusing on that as I'm making calls, and sometimes calling people out because I'm trying to create some urgency to resolving bullying. Anyway, that's something that's been running through my mind as I'm on calls lately, or picking up the phone to make calls. That feels like confidence.
Who likes to make a phone call knowing that the person on the other end wants to take your call? That feels good. You know, I get a call everyone. I got a guy who loves to call me. His name is Scam Likely. I don't pick up his calls, but my buddy Andy, when he calls from Philadelphia, oh man, I'm so excited to hear from him. So I pick up his call. Love that, Kelly. Anybody else? What do you think of when you think of confidence?
Your posture, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself.
Those are definitely signs of a confident person. Okay. So how do we measure our confidence? Because if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. Do you guys work on managing your confidence? Do you work on improving your confidence?
Is it maybe the decisions we take? Because it makes a big difference if we make decisions out of a confidence mind or empowered mind.
Huge difference.
Exactly. So the decisions we make may be a measurement. the decisions we make or the results of the decisions we make, we can measure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can you make decisions that don't work out well and still have confidence? Can you make a decision that works out very poorly and it still builds your confidence? Yeah. Yeah. What would be a sign of lack of confidence? Inability to make a decision.
Getting defensive about bad decisions instead of claiming them and moving forward, and whatever, even making apologies if that's what is necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. This thing about confidence, I want to let you know, you can't just go to the store and pick it up. They don't have it on the shelf at Walmart. You got to go to a specialty center like ImPowerd Life. That's where you're going to get more confidence. Okay. Do you guys have any, as coaches, does anybody teach confidence in this, on this call? Yeah, Claudia definitely does. Kelly definitely does.
Empowerment.
There we go. Cynthia definitely does. This is
I
fantastic.
talk about the vibration of confidence.
Well, do you know how to measure the vibration of confidence?
Good question. I don't think so.
Oh, I'm going to bring in a vibroacoustic coach that teaches how to do vibration. They can actually hear, they listen to your voice. There's a machine that calibrates your voice, and it tells you what tones, what octaves you're doing, and it'll talk to you about how much confidence you have. Would that be a good tool to have? Yeah. Go ahead, Cynthia.
Confidence also comes to mind for me. Like, I'm very confident in certain things like work and in other areas. And then there's other parts of my life where I'm not always so confident, like in relationships. So I also think confidence comes in categories, but I think it's something that only you personally can develop in yourself. No one can give it to you. It has to come from within.
So let's talk about what Cynthia just said. Do you guys think that you have different levels of confidence in different areas of your life?
Yep.
Not a question about it. Absolutely 100%. Okay.
Yep.
Now, do your clients that you're coaching, do they have different levels of confidence in them? When you're trained as a coach and you can recognize there are different areas of where they're confident and where they're not, then you get to be a better coach. You know, what does it say about somebody who's on a call like this with 9 people who doesn't interact? And what's the reason they don't interact? So as a coach, when you see that on your group, because I know everybody's setting up their coaching groups, right? When you set up your course, and I'm trying to be a really, really good living, breathing example of what's possible in a course. When you set up your course, what are you going to do to not only measure your confidence, but measure the confidence of the people around you? Now, level 2, Cynthia also said that that you have to change your confidence on your own. There's nothing that we can do to change other people's confidence. Did I get that right, Cynthia?
Well, it comes from within. I mean, we could coach somebody, but if they're not willing to take on the work, like coaching somebody and them doing the work are two different things, because we all know people who've been coached for years and nothing ever changes. So they ultimately have to do the work. We can coach somebody. It's going to come from them taking action, because action is ultimately going to lead from confidence, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay. Do you think there's somebody who you see on, let me say this better. Do you think if you see somebody on a daily basis and you recognize that they're not confident in a certain area, do you think there's something you could say that day after day after day could slightly improve their confidence? And also, do you think there's other things that you could say that would knock down their confidence? Yeah. Yeah. So as a coach, we get to be very mindful of this as we go through the process. Confidence comes from within. That's really interesting perspective, because also confidence is really affected by what goes on in the outside world, isn't it? You know, what do we need to be or not need to be confident about that doesn't involve other people? You know, or is everybody confident they could make themselves breakfast? Yeah. Is everybody confident that they could make and host a nice dinner for 8 people? You know, some will, some won't. You know, I don't, you know, this is kind of an open forum. I love Cynthia's input. So we're just, you know, putting these questions out there. So let's in the second part of this class, let's discuss, number one, what can we do to increase our own confidence, or decrease it if that's what needs to be done? And on the other hand, what can we do to properly instill confidence in our coaches? I'm sorry, in our students, okay, the people that we're coaching. How can we instill confidence? Okay, Kelly's in a position where she helps teachers and administrators implement new programs. How confident do those, let me say it differently. How important is their level of confidence when they're implementing a new program? It's really important. It's really important. Got it? I was just reading everybody's texts. Not that you guys have to. And how, when you're going to coach on this platform, you're going to want people to have a great experience in your class. You're going to want them to have better relationships. You're going to want them to be more confident. You're going to want them to ride their horse better. You're going to want them to be more fit. How important is confidence? Do you think that the more confidence they have, the better results they may get? So when you put up your plans and you put up your class, what are you going to do as skills, as activities that are confidence builders? Number one, across the board for everyone. And number two, for those individuals who may be lagging behind. Does anybody have really good confidence building exercises? Oh, I know Claudia does. I know Claudia does. And how many people are coming to your class because they suck at what you're teaching? They're not that good at what you're teaching. Okay. Is there anybody on this call who would like to be a millionaire from coaching? I would like to teach you how to do that. But I'm not under the illusion that I'll be the only one teaching you to do that. You're going to have a wide variety of people. But if one of the things that you're going to do to get to millionaire is you need some really good case studies. You need clients that are doing really well. You need schools that they don't have any bullying in anymore, with living, breathing testimonials. If you find a correlation between your students' level of confidence and how succinctly they implement your programs, then you're going to want to teach confidence in your class. You're going to want to make confidence building either a visual or a hidden aspect of what you're teaching. Anybody ever walk on fire? That's a Tony Robbins, EOB type thing. Yeah. Walked on fire. How much confidence does it take to walk on fire, Cynthia? Takes a lot of confidence.
A lot.
How much?
All of it, everything you have.
Everything you have. Everything you have. And if you don't have a way to measure confidence, how are we going to improve it? You guys think that's an interesting question?
Do
I
you
think,
challenge yourself? Is it through challenge?
Challenging yourself. Yeah, that's definitely.
Because I didn't have that much last year. And I kept showing up for the calls. I kept doing the work from Sarah. I kept, you know, working on my growth. And that also created more confidence in myself. So I believe that had something to do with it. Just showing up and doing the hard work, taking that action.
Huge, huge. Number one, showing up. Your students need to show up in order for you to help build their confidence, in order for them to be more successful. You know, I don't know exactly what everybody coaches on this call, and I apologize for that. I'm looking forward to being a part of your classes, to learning from you, to being there as a confidant that you can, you know, count on to say, hey, I'm thinking about implementing this in my class. I'd like to bring this, or I want this result and I'm not getting it. What should I be adding? And I look forward to being there for you. But I want to make sure that you know that whatever you're teaching is going to land on somebody who has what? Perception. So not everybody on the call, not everybody on this call hears what I'm saying the same way. You guys know that, right? Whatever level of confidence you're at now, it may affect you. If you're somebody who doesn't have a lot of confidence right now, you could be shaking a little bit. You know, you could be really called to task, or you could be, oh my God, this is what I need. If you're somebody with a lot of confidence, you're saying what? I got this, because that's what people with a lot of confidence say. Okay. And and if you're a coach and you go, wow, people would get more out of my class if they listen from a perspective of confidence. Remember, what is perception? In my opinion, it's how we show up. It's who we show up as. So if you teach your class how to show up to your class, if you teach your students how to show up, they're going to have more results. You're going to have better results. You're going to get more signups in the future. Does that make sense? Cool. If you were going your first day of high school, if you're going to first day of high school, how would you show up? Would you have a pen and a paper? I would. If I take a class online, I always have my notebook. I always take my notes. But that's how I show up. So number one, I want everybody to think right now. How do I want people to show up as into my class? How do I want people to be when they show up to my class? What advantages would they have from showing up as A or as B or as C? How much of my lessons at the beginning need to be building confidence? These questions make sense? We're going to bring a lot of people into your classes. We're going to bring a lot of people onto the platform. We're really going to be this place that people who don't know coaching have never experienced what it's like to have as a coach. You're going to be coaching them for the first time. They're going to learn whatever they're going to learn from you. But if they increase their confidence while you're in their class, do you think they'll take another class? You think they'll say good things about you? You think their life will be better? I mean, after all, this is why we're coaches, right? So when you open that Zoom call for the first class, we don't know who's in it. You're going to have a bunch of strangers who you've never met before, plus coaches that you know from the platform. You know, if you have a perception of somebody that they're they're smarter than you, they're more advanced than you, and they're in your class, how's your confidence going to be for that? If you have somebody who shows up who's really meek and really can't even help their own self at the time, how's your confidence going to be to help them?
Storytelling as well.
One more time, love.
Storytelling as well.
Yeah.
Storytelling.
Yeah. Storytelling is a really great skill to talk about confidence. If you were talking about somebody who didn't have confidence and your story was how they got one step and they got a little more, another step they got a little more, and then they really went out of their comfort zone, they developed really strong confidence, that could be a really great story. As a matter of fact, Alexandra, if you have a story like that, at some day I would like to hear it. And yeah, and anybody else who has a story, I'd love to hear it. Go ahead, Cynthia.
Do you want to hear it now?
Let's see, we got a time check. Tell me how long it's going to be.
2 minutes.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hear a story from Cynthia, and then I'd like somebody to be a volunteer to go and read the chat. And then when Cynthia is done with their story, just catch me up if there's any questions that need to be answered. Then we're going to talk about confidence building, and we're going to end with absolute certainty.
And really quickly, I've been coaching on money for 15, 20 years. So recently I had a client who can't even have a conversation about it, like was petrified to go through budgets, go through everything. She needed her brother there. She's 56 years old, like literally not doing well with the conversation. By the time we went through the first meeting and just gathered information and got to the second meeting afterwards, she texted me the next day and she goes, I feel so excited and happy that my future has a plan and it's going to work out. Thank you.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. I love this whole concept. I love what you're doing for coaching. And by the way, if you guys didn't see Cynthia's teaching, I got to tell you, I could give you my notes from it right here. Okay. And then she talks about how people are a spender. And I'm like, that's me. I'm a spender. Then she sends out people are a avoider. I'm like, that's me. I'm an avoider. And then she talks about people being a hoarder. And then that's me. And then she had to talk about being a money monk. And I'm like, shoot, I do that too. So after listening to Cynthia's class, I figure I'm just this really complete person with regards to money. Great class. I definitely want to go deeper on that as well, because we'll be making more money than we're used to. Okay. Everybody on this call who follows the program Sarah's laid out for you, you will be making more money than you're used to. Now, I don't know each of you individually at a level where I can say in 2022, you're going to make more money than you've ever made before, because I don't know your histories. Okay. But let's make sure that you have a certain goal and that you're focused on that. And then if money came in to the point of double your expectations, would that be comfortable or uncomfortable? Yeah, it'd be uncomfortable. It hit triggers we're not used to. So with Cynthia on our team, we can be really well positioned to take care of that. Okay. So if you wanted $100,000, you ended up with 200,000. Then you're like, you know what, let's get you comfortable. Let's take 100,000 and we'll invest it over here. You don't even have to look at it for a little while. And then we'll work with 100,000 because you're comfortable there. Whatever system she comes up with, be prepared to take her class entitled, now that you have more money than you ever did before, what should you do with it? Thank you so much, Cynthia. Let's go to the questions in the chat. Is there anything that needs attention?
Nope.
No, we're all good with everything. Cool.
You've covered everything. I didn't see any questions there at all.
Nice. So let's wrap this up with with a look at certainty and how things are going to play out on the platform. You know, right now, are you certain that everything on this Empowered Life platform is technically efficient and works perfectly? No, we can't be certain with that yet because we're just opening up things right now. We had beta testers come on and they showed us where things weren't working. Okay. Will it ever be at a point where it's complete? No, I give you 100% certainty. It'll never be complete. It'll constantly evolve. It'll constantly grow. When our coaches come back and say, you know what, if I had the ability to do X, Y, and Z in my class, I think it'd be better. And we talk to a bunch of coaches. Yeah, that'd be better. Then Sarah's going to work with the technical team to make that better. Does that make sense? So you can have absolute certainty that the platform will never be complete. Does anybody know what the metaverse is? META verse, metaverse. It's the new project from Facebook. Facebook is one of the most complete programs there is, but now they're introducing their next level. Okay, so I just want to let you know, even Facebook still grows and changes. You know, who knows and understands all the Facebook algorithms? No, because it's always changing and developing. That's what we're going to be doing for you guys. Okay. Can you, or who's absolutely certain about the first class they're going to teach content wise? Yes, Bobby Joe's got it. Kelly's got it. Cynthia's got it. Claudia's got it. Okay. You guys are absolutely certain about that first class you're going to teach. Are you absolutely certain when that starts? Okay. Bobby Joe is. Okay. It could start today. You know, do the whole sign up process, get the membership activated, start your class. If you need a little help with a graphic or something, you know, let the team know, and then let's get your class posted. And then who's certain who's certain about the clients they're going to have in their class? Nobody. Who knows? I didn't know who was going to show up today. Not everybody on this class registered for this class. Okay. But I had the confidence that it doesn't really matter who it is. Okay. How did I handle Cynthia and Kelly coming in 20 minutes into the class? I stopped. I recapped the really important information about perception. Okay. But I know as a teacher, I know that people retain 86% of what they hear 6 times or more. So I'm making sure that on this call, you hear my perception of perception is who you show up as. Who you show up as. Have you ever gone to a place you didn't want to go, and when you were arriving, you were this anger and I didn't want to be here? You're gonna meet with that same energy. So who you show up as dictates your perception. Does that make sense? Okay. When you show up to coach a class, who's got a process they go through before they teach? Who's got a 1 minute, 2 minute, you know, before I ever get on stage when I ran the Florida Power Team? God grant me the power, the vision, the words, the brevity, whatever it takes to let my message be heard and received in the most loving way possible. And when you really talk to yourself and set that up, then you get to be in charge of how you show up. Because what else? What can we control? What we do. Can we control what we think? No. The ether, the universal intelligence is always feeding us ideas, whether we want them or not. Okay, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. So we can only choose how we act and how we react. Make sense? If you guys don't know about that, you should take Kelly's course. Pretty simple. Real quick, before I do the end of it, I don't know who knows everybody else on the call, but because I know you guys are going to be coaches, what I'd like you to do is unmute, say your name, say what kind of coach you are, and say what your first class is going to be on the platform. And if you're uncertain to what it is, tell us what it might be. All right, open mics, go ahead.
I'll start.
Thank you.
I am just jumping back into the platform after a bit of a pause. And I'm getting things straightened out and watching some videos today. I am a confidence and happiness coach, and I teach skills associated with the no such thing as a bully system. And I am looking forward to getting to know everyone better. First thing that I want to teach is sort of what is possible when we build the confidence and learn the skills.
All right, guys. So she didn't introduce herself by name. Her name's Kelly.
Sorry.
And when she said what she wanted to teach, she said, I want to teach something that's sort of like this. Does that exude certainty in what she's going to teach? No. Can you feel her confidence that no matter what that certainty is going to be, that she's going to be able to deliver? Okay, so that balance between certainty and confidence, when the least amount of certain you are, you need that extra confidence to balance it. Okay, cool. Thanks, Kelly. Who'd like to introduce themselves next? Thank you, Cynthia.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cynthia, out of New Jersey in the US. I know a lot of people are Canadian. I teach money. I've been in the financial industry for close to 20 years and working with hardworking, I always say people like myself, single moms, ordinary middle-class people that typically are overlooked by the financial industry. They don't teach it in schools. They don't teach it in college. So I come in and I not only teach my clients about money, but I help implement everything so they actually have a solid financial future.
Outstanding, outstanding. And do you know what course you're going to teach, what the name is, and when you think it'll start?
So the whole course is called Millionaire Within, which is the name of my business. I have no idea how to start on your platform. So I just texted Bobby Joe to say, please help. Because part of my goals for the last quarter of this year are to continuously ask for help because I get overwhelmed. But what I'm going to teach what I've been teaching for years. I mean, everything starts with cash flow, what's coming in, what's going out. Then we go and analyze debt. Then we go through, emergency funds. Like it's a 6-step process.
Perfect. Perfect. So your easy steps are to activate your account, get with Sarah as she sets up the test for your certification, and we'll set up the class. Bobby Joe help you get that set up on the platform, and then we'll put the word out that it's available for people. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. I really enjoy the professionalism that you bring to the table. And I'd love to have a discussion with you about a different approach between addressing business professionals and addressing moms.
Perfect. Thank you.
I love that difference there. Cool. Bobby Joe, are you next?
Sure. My name is Bobby Joe McQuaid, and through my lifelong journey, I've become a badass spiritual energy alchemist who makes life more enjoyable, calm, and prosperous life for everyone I work with, even if they don't currently believe in spiritual energy. And what I'm going to be teaching is connecting with like your soul, connecting with your inner spirit.
Love it. Love it. I'm excited to take that class. You said connecting with spiritual energy, even if you don't believe it, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to tie that into this class. That's their perception of what spiritual energy is. They may perceive it to be non-existent. They may perceive it to be existent, but they don't understand it, or, you know, they really embrace it, or, you know, so there's all these different levels. When you can get tuned into that perception, that'll help you in closing sales, empowering people, moving people forward, and make your class more effective, knowing the perception of that person. Cool. Alexandra, you want to go next?
Sure will. I'll take the stage. Good morning, guys. My name is Alexandra. I am from Calgary, Alberta. I'm going to be teaching and talking to you guys about how to empower yourself by using different modalities and health tools like aromatherapy, and being able to have that in your home and use them on a daily basis, topically, using them in your cooking, and just being able to be confident and not being scared on how to use these different tools into your home. My experience with this has been about 9 years now, and I'm feeling pretty confident on how to use them with into different areas of your life. So I want to be able to do the same for you and empower you to help your family so you can have a healthier start to life.
You guys feel the certainty? You guys feel the certainty? You guys feel the confidence? I even reached down and grabbed my eucalyptus. You know, great job, Alex. Really appreciate you. You're an inspiration. I definitely want to send new developing coaches your way so they can actually feel that energy that you bring. Cool. Claudia.
I appreciate you guys. I got to go get my car. So that's why I was like, I'll take one for the stage.
Bye now. Thank you. Claudia, you're up.
Thank you. So yes, hi, my name is Claudia from Austria, Europe. And I look back on a lifelong journey with horses. So I'm deeply addicted into horse riding, competing dressage, and horse jumping competitions. And I really did look very much into how to understand how horses work and how riders function. And so I'm going to teach what it needs that a rider become a empowered rider, in the sense of that he knows what to do, that he feels what to do. And I'm there to coach them together with the horses on their own journey.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Who felt her certainty? She didn't leave any room for uncertainty in that, right? If you take that course, you know what your outcome's going to be. That's pretty darn strong. How's her confidence? Cool. And if anybody on this class wants to come up with a way to measure confidence, I'm open to listen. Thank you, Claudia. Betty, you're up.
Hello. So it's me against myself. Say it for yourself. It's me against myself. I'm Betty Alvarado, and I am a badass vibrational and energy coach. My first class is the 11 steps to vibrating as a conscious human.
Love it. Love it. Cool. Who vibrates in this? Anybody vibrate? Yeah. We all vibrate. I mean, light is waves, sound is waves, energy is waves. If you're standing in the room with me, you'll feel me. Okay. You'll feel Betty, because we've been in that room together before, and it was a great experience. So I love what you're doing. When you talk about that class, you also want to let people know what the outcomes are going to be. I'll have a whole class on features versus benefits. We're going to want to know that really good. Cool. Anybody else like the floor who hasn't had it? Cool. All right. And the last thing is in confidence. It really pertains to you and yourself. Okay. I think somebody earlier said we're in control of it. We're responsible. We do have influence from outside. And I'm going to let you know that not everything's always going to go the way you want it to. Okay. the ability to deal with that is what I call confidence. Okay. If you don't have, hi, Claudia's friend. If you don't know what you want, you're never going to get what you want. So you have to have the confidence to really decide what you want. When you clearly articulate what your class is about on the coaching platform, you want it to line up with what other people want. Cynthia's easy. She's got it. Claudia's easy. She's got it. Okay. Kelly's going to be a little more difficult because she works in an area that really slaps common knowledge in the face. Okay. She says there is no such thing as a bully. Okay. So she's got to be contradictory. Okay. So she has to, what do people want? They want a better life. They want more happiness. So she's gone that route. It's a really smart way to do it. That's it. That's all for me. Class 2, week 3, confidence and certainty. I think we have on the platform, we have a forum. If you have questions, if you have any other thoughts on it, post them in there. I don't just need to be the only one to answer questions. Everybody else can contribute their their perception through confidence and certainty. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you all. Talk to you soon. I look forward to seeing your classes on the platform.
Thanks, Adam.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.